So, it has come to my attention that most of you still think that Tom Nook, Thomas Nookington, is a crook. That he's not a good man. That he's greedy. That he's manipulative. That he's some kind of fluffy capitalist raccoon overlord who traps you in an endless spiral of debt. Well, I'm here to clear his name. For too long, Tom has been called a villain. But what if I told you that beneath the apron, behind that polite little, yes, lies one of the kindest souls in all of Animal Crossing. A man or, well, a tanuki, who has known heartbreak, betrayal, failure, and loneliness, but still chooses to help others build their dreams. To prove it, we're going to trace his story, from childhood dreams to city life disappointment, to betrayal to mentorship, and to quiet multi-generational generosity. I will get to the bottom of who Tom Nook really is. This is the story of how Tom Nook went from dreamer to cynic to one of the most quietly compassionate characters in gaming history. Long before the shops, the mortgages, and the travel packages, Tom Nook was just a hopeful young raccoon with big dreams. As kids, he and Sable, the eldest of the Able sisters, would lie under the stars together whispering about their futures. He wanted to build the biggest shop in the world, and Sable wanted to create the cutest clothes in town. It's sweet, isn't it? Two childhood friends, one set of dreams, all under the same sky. They even buried a time capsule together, promising that someday their dreams would come true. But unfortunately, life in Animal Crossing isn't always so gentle. Tragedy struck Sable's family. She suddenly became responsible for both her sisters, Mabel and Label, and for running the tailor shop all alone. And Tom, well, he left. Not because he didn't care, but because he truly believed that the best way to help, the best way to change his future, was to chase opportunity in the big city. And so, ever the dreamer, Tom Nook left home. But the city was not kind to him. This is a period he mentions in multiple games. In Wild World, City Folk, Happy Home Designer, and New Leaf, usually with a pained little sigh and a half joke that sounds way too real. It sounds like he worked, he struggled, and he failed. He says that he endured things he never speaks of, and whenever the conversation drifts close to those years, he quickly changes the subject. It's the quiet heaviness of someone who went to build a dream and instead got broken by it. And somewhere in those dark years, he met someone. Okay, so let's address the fox in the room. At some point, Tom Nook worked with Crazy Redd, the art dealer and full-time con artist. The two had a partnership once, though the games intentionally keep it vague. In Happy Home Designer, Tom gives us a little background. He says, "I worked with a fox once in my life. Never again. Not after the incident." Stop. I cannot say a word more. Let us assume it was tragic. But why tragic? Not inconvenient, not irritating, not unprofitable. It was tragic. Whether that tragedy was professional or personal, we'll never know, but I lean towards deeply personal. It's not hard to imagine that somewhere in that betrayal lies a touch of heartbreak too. Their banter in later games feels almost like two ex-partners who can't quite let go of the past. Redd calls him that raccoon in an apron. That's bitterness. And Tom calls him untrustworthy. But that sounds like regret. And after everything, neither lets it go. Whether it was a business scam, a broken friendship, or something emotionally messier, the result was the same. It shattered the last of Tom's optimism. That betrayal was the moment he realized that the city wasn't a place for dreamers or for people with soft hearts. Tom Nook felt defeated, and so he packed his bags and returned home. But the Tom that returned was not the same one who had left. He told Sable that dreams were nothing in the face of money. And that sentence alone tells you everything about how much he lost. In Wild World, he even mentions that he was so depressed that even the kind words of his friends hurt him. This is why he pushed everyone away, including Sable. But even after everything, the distance, the years, the heartbreak, Sable never stopped caring about him. He was like a big brother to her. Yeah, I'm really sorry to break it to you. I know that a lot of people think that Sable and Tom are a couple or they're exes or something, but in-game, she canonically refers to him as being like an older brother. So, no, Sable and Tom are not exes, or at least I couldn't find any evidence of romantic feelings from either of them. Even so, the bond between Sable and Tom is still one of the most beautiful and tragic relationships in Animal Crossing. I mean, Sable alone has had an incredibly tragic and difficult life, so let me know if you want me to make a video on that. When Tom struggled to start his first shop, she would secretly make him winter clothes to keep him warm. And if I remember correctly, I think she confirms that she was the one who made the clothes that he wears. To this day, she still uses the scissors that he sent her for her birthday, a tiny gift that he somehow afforded when he had almost nothing. I think it's really easy to see Sable as the one who stayed and lost everything. After all, she lost her family, and when Tom left, she lost him too. But the truth is, they both lost something. Sable lost her best friend. She lost the dreamer who used to sing under the stars with her. And Tom, he lost the person who believed in him before anyone else did. And now, years later, they're both still healing from that shared wound. And when he came back, I think that all that guilt stayed with him. It's written in the way he talks, the way he works, and the way that he helps others. Quietly, consistently, and without ever asking for anything in return. When Tom returned home, he started small. He had a tiny shop with a single counter and barely enough stock to fill a shelf. This was the original Nook's Cranny in the first Animal Crossing game. And I know, a lot of people use this version of Tom as an example of how awful he is. But he had just experienced the worst parts of his life right before this. I think he was still gathering himself and trying really hard to let others back in. And don't even play with me, because I know that most of you haven't even played the original Animal Crossing games. Most of you didn't experience that side of him, and if you've only played New Horizons, then you really only know him as a nice raccoon. And I think that this really shows how far he's come. My first Animal Crossing game was actually Wild World. And when you first move in, Pelly mentions that Tom Nook was kind enough to tell her all about you. She mentions that, in order for new residents to feel welcome, Tom Nook has prepared a new residence just for them. And then she says, Tom Nook has certainly been in a giving mood lately, which to me shows that he's really evolving from how he was in those first games. It shows that he is working on himself. And this is probably due to the player's influence. Back in those first games, he offered the players a job to help get them started. And in Wild World, he does the same. He says that the best way to learn is by doing. And while you're working for him in the various games, he says a few things that several people consider to be, maybe a little rude or a little bit mean. I think this is really interesting. I never really read him as being mean though. I read him more like, I don't know, maybe like an uncle or something. Like when a family member tries to teach you a lesson, or like when someone tries to teach you responsibilities, but due to the generational differences, the jokes don't really land as intended. But when we talk about those original games, every villager was meaner than they are nowadays. I think that most people know this, but for some reason, no one ever calls out the other villagers for their behavior. Most people seem to want that back. Anyway, I feel like despite everything, Tom tries to reassure the player that everything would be okay and that you would find a way. It's actually really cool to see how, together, the player and Tom are able to expand from Nook's Cranny to Nook and Go, to Nookway, and eventually to Nookingtons. And in doing so, Every upgrade showed Tom slowly reclaiming his confidence. And he didn't have to do it alone. Of course, he had your help as I just mentioned, but in later games, his little family expands. During the later years, Tom found 2 abandoned Tanuki kids, Timmy and Tommy. He took them in, began to train them, and even raised them as his own. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but they're not his kids. Well, not biologically anyways. Though he clearly considers them family, as he calls them his nephews. He's also very affectionate, proud, and protective of them. In New Horizons, he says that he wants to teach them good economic principles, so that they never suffer like he did. That's not greed. That's a man trying to break the cycle. He gives them his store, he steps back, and then he lets them shine. That is redemption. And when you think about it, Tom Nook doesn't just help Timmy and Tommy, he helps you. After all, he is your landlord. Okay. This is where the jokes begin. The Tom Nook is a crook memes. But here's what people forget. Tom Nook is the only landlord in gaming history who gives you a home, charges 0 interest, who lets you pay it off whenever you want, or well, never, if that's your choice. There are no deadlines, no penalties. He does not evict you. He doesn't even remind you that you owe him any money. He just smiles, nods, and offers to help you upgrade your home when and if you're ready. That's not a villain. That's practically a saint. And while you're out there selling bugs, fish, and literal garbage, Tom Nook will buy it. Every weed, every seashell, every piece of junk. He's not judging you. He's just happy that you're making a living. At one point, you could even go to the store in the middle of the night, knock the door down with your shovel, and wake up Tom Nook. And despite this being incredibly rude, he would still give you attention. Yes, he would raise the prices by like 20%, and if you sold something to him, he would also pay you less. But he had no reason to even let you enter in the first place. And honestly, I think it's really nice that he does that for you. The fact that he's even willing to wake up just to buy your garbage shows that he's practically allergic to profit. Also, he looks adorable in his little pajamas. That is so freaking cute. And when people say that Tom Nook traps you in debt, I have to laugh. Because in the real world, if debt worked like that, we'd all be free. He gives you a roof, lets you decorate it however you want, and then rewards you for cluttering the world with DIY projects. And the best part, every time you pay off your home, he celebrates you. He doesn't get richer, but you, on the other hand, do get a little cozier. In Wild World, Tom Nook says something about big city banks and how they deny a young man a loan, though they know nothing of his character. To me, this sounds like more of his sour past coming to the surface. Anyway, this is important because I believe that this is why Tom Nook is the way he is with you. The reason that his loans are so generous and why he doesn't charge any interest. And in New Leaf, he runs Nook's homes and is kinder and more patient than ever. He quietly steps into the background, focusing less on selling and more on helping the town grow. And Hidden Lore in Happy Home Designer reveals something even more surprising. Did you know that Tom donates over 90% of his earned bells to orphanages? Yeah, that's right. He helps other children like Timmy and Tommy, but quietly, in the background. He doesn't brag. He doesn't market it. He doesn't turn it into PR. He just gives. And when you look at everything that he's been through, his lost dreams, the betrayal, the heartbreak, it makes sense. Tom Nook isn't greedy. He's grateful. He knows what it's like to be poor, to be tricked, and to lose everything. So he builds a world where you don't have to experience any of that. He even acknowledges his reputation as a ruthless and heartless businessman. Then he says something interesting, that even if it isn't true, he can see the value in it. Because if everyone can unite against him, at least it gives them something to be united about. He talks about the importance of paying your debts and about responsibility. Because Tom Nook is willing to be misunderstood if it means teaching you something that will protect you later. And by the time we reach New Horizons, Tom has evolved, not into a villain, but into a community visionary. He creates Nook Inc, a travel company designed to give people a fresh start. It's not a luxury getaway, but a chance to build a life, a home, and a community from scratch. He sends you to an empty island where your creativity is the heart of the project. He gives you tools, he guides the infrastructure, and he gives you agency. It's not about profit. It's about building the life you once dreamed of and lost, and now offering it to others. In the end, Nook Inc. isn't a corporation. It's a second chance factory. Listen, Tom Nook is not a crook. He's a survivor. He dreamed big, fell hard, and rebuilt quietly. He lost love, lost hope, lost faith, and still chose kindness. He raised 2 kids who weren't his, created jobs for an entire island, and builds homes for anyone who needs one. But maybe that's why he's so easy to misunderstand. Because his generosity does not shout, it whispers. It's in the warm, polite, yes, yes. In the patient nod when you tell him that you'll pay later, and in the silent pride that he takes when you make your island feel like home. So the next time that you step into his shop, maybe pause before calling him a crook. Because Tom Nook isn't the villain of Animal Crossing. He is the heart. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!